Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Everybody clap your hands.
Yeah,
Clap.
yeah,
Clap.
yeah.
Clap your hands.
Yeah. Clap your hands. All right, y'all.
That's the only cookout song I can do.
To the left. To the right now, dog. One hop this time. Oh shit, that's the Richard Green. Roscoe. We need to talk about some stuff.
We have a lot and a little to talk about. I remember we said earlier when we started this is going to be a very short episode. We'll see.
Yeah, let's do our intro real quick. Hi, I'm Nobody Knows. I'm with Roscoe Sweatsuit. We are just two random guys just talking about ReZero because we enjoyed the show. And it's on its third season. We just watched season 3, episode 4. I think it's technically episode 54, because that's the weird way to count it. So we're just gonna go talk about this show. Yeah, we're just gonna talk about ReZero because we enjoy it, and we're gonna talk about the episode, this latest episode so far, and give it our thoughts. I'm gonna say this right now. This is spoilers ahead. We're just gonna spoil everything, and we're gonna tangent really hard because we might tangent a little less hard because we just got done tangenting,
or we just got warmed up tangenting.
This is true. All right. So first off, we'll kind of just recap the episode and say what happened. I can start these things off. So, we pick up generally from where we left off on last episode, but we pick up from Garfield's perspective. They're going to like this Capitol building. Garfield and Mimi are going to this Capitol building, and they get close there, and they were like, bodies and blood, lots of them, like lots of people dead. Right, and they're like,
can we roll at this part? Let the bodies hit the floor.
If I find enough time, I will do it.
If it doesn't get copyright struck.
Oh, we gotta do it. We gotta do it really fast. But yeah, so lots of bodies and stuff like that. They're like approaching the bodies and kind of investigating, and then they see two people in the witch cult outfit. Yeah, Garfield's like, all right, let's squat up. Let's go fuck up these guys or whatever. And it's just like, these look like just two regular like witch cults. Like you see them all in like the first season and some of the second season, I think. But yeah, just regular witch cult people. And
were they in the second season?
At the very beginning.
Okay.
Very, very beginning before we go into the thing for a very short time. I think actually maybe not. But yeah, so they're just chilling over there. And it's obviously like these guys killed all these people out in this guard, and like Garfield's like, okay, let's go fuck them up, let's go do this. And Mimi immediately was like, no, bro, no. We must get the heck out of here, bro. Like those guys are going to murder us if we don't escape. So they like quickly come up with a plan to be like, all right, we're gonna punch him and then run the heck away.
I think that Garfield had the same reaction that I had, which is like, it's just some low level mobs. These are the slimes of the witches cult.
Yes. Like yeah.
Surely they can't be that strong.
Yeah. Like they have like, we literally have 4 people in this town that are at least are ridiculously strong and have powers that are tricky to deal with. There's no way this show will put in 2 more people that we don't understand and or seem to be way overpaid for some reason. They wouldn't do that.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there were points in season 1 where like just the regular witches cult mobs were getting slaughtered.
Yes, absolutely.
Did Subaru even take out some of those mobs?
I don't know if he took out any of those mobs, but like definitely in season 1, like I think that makes a lot of sense because a lot of them were just like regular townsfolk. I understand, from my understanding. My understanding was like the people that was like there was a part of that ambush were just kind of like regular people. Well, they're cultists, but regular people. There's a cultist that killed Subaru in the first season. Like there's a regular dude, right? Like yeah, they're supposed to be like regular like slime level mobs or whatever. But
to be fair, isn't there a kid that doesn't one of the kids? Isn't there like a kid that's in the witches cult that kills him? Or is that she just he's a part of the assassins?
I think she's a part of the assassins because she works with the guts lady later on in the second season. She's the one that she's the one that does the hippo thing, like summons the hippo.
Yes. Okay. Weird theory. Okay, I'm gonna get to that. I need to write it down. I need to write this down. There's no way that this is gonna happen. If this happens, if this turns out to be who I think it is, this is gonna be a wild season.
Got you. All right. So, but basically, they get an altercation with him, and it immediately cuts away from that, and you're like, okay, they're gonna hit and run, everything's gonna be fine, and it's just a conversation with Subaru and the rest of the gang, kind of like game planning to see what they're gonna do or whatever. And like, they're game planning. The most interesting thing that comes up there, they're kind of like, they know there's a witch that's remained is in the city, but they don't know which witch. Because like Subaru was first thinking it was the Witch of Envy, and like Al was kind of like, no, that's probably not, or whatever. And they also talk about the Archbishop Saint of Lust. And they're like, hey, the Archbishop Saint of Lust basically said that they were like this kind of royal family or whatever. Like they were kind of like this kind of weird because it's kind of a joke that everyone in this royal family has died super young, right? And the only person that like chimes in this thing is like Will was like, hey bro, I'm the oldest and wisest person here, so I'm gonna tell you a little secret. There was one family member that was like didn't die, and she was known to be like super ruthless as well, right? And it's like, that's some weird information.
Well, not that she didn't die. She died like 50 years ago.
Oh yeah, I thought oh yeah, she lived 50 years ago. That's what he said. Yeah, right. He was like saying that's the only person that like lived in this royal family. And they get a call from the purple haired dude. I keep forgetting his name. What's his name?
Dang, I also, while I was doing my notes for this episode, I was like, I should take the time to remember this dude's name, and I did not.
Yeah, let me look.
But he's got a stupid name.
Let me look it up real quick. Purple hair knight ReZero. Let me see if that clocks it.
I call him Ike.
Julius. I'm not even gonna try that last name.
Yeah, Julius. I consider him like if what's the other dude? What's the red haired dude's name?
Reinhardt.
If Reinhardt is Roy, Julius is Ike.
Gotcha. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Roy's our boy.
Roy is our boy.
But yeah, so they are like he gets a call from them, and he's like, oh yo, it's really messed up out here. There's like a lot of crazy shit happening. And he's like, all right, cool, bud. And they're talking, and May hops on the phone and being like, bro, where's my sister? Because like we're psychically connect, and there's like blood on my shirt, bro. So something bad's happening, right? And then like before they even get to respond, there's like a voice coming over the speaker. It's Bishop of Lust and being like, hey guys, I know you guys said knights. Don't do that again, because we killed them all, and we have hostages, so we'll kill some of those because you did that, and don't do that again. And while this message is happening, someone opens the door, and Will's like, who's coming out that door? Because I will slice you. And it's Garfield with May, that has a cut through her, like through her chest or whatever. And he's like, bro, I messed up, I'm useless. And he's like kind of having this mental breakdown right now. While all this is happening, like, yeah, the witch, Saint Bishop of Lust is just talking basically mad shit.
I would have emotional breakdown too if I was getting nerfed like that.
Yes, it is bad. Because, as soon as they're done with that scene, they cut back to what happened with Garfield and May. And these slime bombs ran those hands. They were easily outclassing these two. And you're like, okay, he didn't go beast mode. No, he transformed his arms. He was trying to really get into this. And not even close. If they didn't run, they would have easily got him wiped. And the reason that Mamie's hurt is because she put herself in danger to make sure Garfield didn't get hurt. And this kind of also leads into why this fight is happening. Garfield is still dealing with this idea with the Guts lady, right? She's still in her head, and it's making his. I like how they're kind of doing where it's not making him like hesitant. It's making him do like rash decisions, right? Like they had a plan of like, hey, attack and run, and because of this thing in his head, it's like, no, I'm going to continue attacking.
Nah, he's crashing out.
Yeah, crashing out. Do you want me to say, you want to talk about any of this stuff before we move on to the other stuff?
Was the triple divine protection thing something that we had heard about from in season 1?
The triple.
Or is this one of those things where they just drop exhibition just randomly and just continue on with it, which is a thing I like about the show, because it makes it feel like this is a world that exists before
Yeah.
either Subaru or I like chose to watch it.
Yeah, and I don't think they did, and I think that makes sense because like the only time you saw these I'm thinking you're talking about like Mimi and Mei Mei and all those three, right?
Yeah.
Like
what's the bigger one's name?
Something that probably starts with M.
Yes.
That makes sense because like the only times you see them, they weren't in a position where they would be hurt like this, right? Yeah, it matters to them to explain it now because it's the first time it came up since Subaru has been here, and that's the first time we've been here, right?
The author is out here just completely nerfing all the furries.
He was like, furry arc's over.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. The meta for season 1, season 2 furries was top tier. That was some ice climber level OP. Okay, and then we got dang Super Smash Brothers Ultra, whatever that one was, and then the ice climbers got nerfed. This is the kind of level.
It's like it's like you know they were leading into that when we were like, the most terrifying thing in this season is a bunny. It's a bunch of bunnies. I am terrified of a bunch of bunnies because they're terrifying.
The other thing I had is they had the divine protection of the death god. That was something that they dropped about the wound.
Yeah. So
which again, now I have to ask, who is the death god?
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah. I'll go a little bit further, and we're gonna stop back at that part real quick. So, all right, while this is happening, and Garfield is not taking this well, you get another flashback. You're like, where's our boy? Roy's our boy, and where the fuck's Reinhardt right now? Right? You might be able to excuse the first thing, but this thing went out on the intercoms to the whole world. Where the fuck is he? Why isn't he here beating up these guys? Right?
Which. That was so smart, the choice that they made for that, to explain that.
Yes.
Because it explains, like, both of those situations. Because we were asking about that earlier. Like, where is Reinhardt?
Yeah. And yeah, the explanation for this is, Reinhardt and Felt were, I guess, in some type of meeting with Reinhardt's dad about, like, his inheritance and stuff like that. Basically, as soon as the way it's applied is like, as soon as that announcement goes out about like the wish coach being there and the archbishop being there, his dad takes Felt hostage and says, "Bro, you're not allowed to leave, and if you try to leave, I'm gonna kill her." And it's like, bro, I've only met you for 2 episodes, and you're such an asshole. Like, why are we doing this, bro? He is basically holding Felt hostage so Reinhardt wouldn't leave. And I'm guessing the answer for that is really simple. Like, if Reinhardt's here, like, nothing bad's gonna happen to me, so just keep him here. They're in this tense scene where he's like, wants to go help out with the stuff on the cultists, but he can't. And Felt is like literally yelling at him and be like, he doesn't have that dog in him. Just go. Just leave. Right? He's bluffing, right? And his dad is like, bet you wanna try it or whatever? Like literally sword to this girl's throat. He's like, nah, he's bluffing. You should leave. Right? And we don't know what Reinhardt's decision it is, but it definitely seemed like he's in a different uncomfortable situation.
Oh, okay. So I just had to take again, this kind of goes back to my theory that I mentioned the last 2 episodes. There is an overarching theme of love in this story in a very like non-corny kind of way. I'm wondering if this is somehow going to I'm wondering if this is gonna somehow, like, it's gonna play out as that, like, Reinhardt's dad has, like, just some kind of, like, attachment issue, like I don't want to say it like this, but Reinhardt's dad has, like, some kind of mommy issue where he's like, don't leave me. Like, this is gonna be equivalent to Subaru's cringe arc.
It's so many people that is like, bro, I understand. This is really traumatic and stuff like that. But in this moment, I fucking hate you. I like in this moment, you're the worst person ever. Same thing happened with Garfield, where it's like in the moment, especially when he was doing that stuff, when we did get the backstory, I was like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, why are you doing this? like stop, like you are actively being a dick for no reason, right? And then you get like this understanding. It's like, okay, I understand why you're a dick. It still didn't make it any better.
Yeah, so I can see that. We're getting what I like what they did with this scene is that you get this great scope of how of the like the power dynamics between the two. Like obviously Reinhardt's dad is not as strong as Reinhardt.
Yeah,
Enough where he is like, well, like, no, you can't leave. I need you here. But he's seems to be one smarter or at least more crafty. Like he's right now he's giving me like Bruce Wayne but an asshole kind of vibes. I mean, Bruce Wayne is kind of an asshole, but like worse.
yeah. Like it's like he might not be like as skilled as Will or Reinhardt, but he definitely survives. Like he's a guy that definitely survives, right? Like he's just that kind of crafty. He's not like completely weak, but he will survive.
Listen, Reinhardt's dad gets it out of the mud.
But yeah,
Straight out of the mud.
So
and then he slings it at you.
And then so yeah, you get all this scene, and then like that's it. That's the whole scene. You cut away, go back to the scene, basically of like, you know, Subaru's kind of covering Garfield because he's like really kind of messed up. Mei Mei has a wound that Ferris can't close. So it's like it's a wound that won't heal and won't close. And immediately he like kind of touches a wound, the thing on his back, and like we have enough context clues that the person that did the cut on to Mei Mei is a person that wounded the Will a while ago, and that's why he has this wound that doesn't heal either, which is also attached to this death god thing or whatever. What's the thing called? Death curse.
The witch's cult?
No, the death curse. Okay. Yeah. Because I know Will very smallly brings it up in like the first couple seasons about this like wound that doesn't close and it's all this other stuff, right?
I did not catch that.
I am like so sure that he brought up in season 1, but maybe I'm pulling that from other thing. But like I am like,
no, you're right.
But yeah, so like he brings that up, and he so he doesn't tell anyone, but like it's obviously like it's the thing he's thinking about, right? Subaru tells Garfield to tell him the story of what happened, and that's what we just talked about earlier. You know, Mei Mei's brothers come in to check on her, and like the big wolf dude from the first season 2 comes in there too, and he was like, he looks at Garfield, and he's like, it's time for me to do some Farley motivation. And he went over there, and he's like, I'm gonna tell you the right shit so you don't feel bad. Wolf dude really gets Garfield kind of out of this situation where he's like, thank you for doing this. He's like, we owe you this great debt. It's like, it's not your fault, and he motivates Garfield in the right way where he's ready to fight again.
If I was him, I would have stayed down. But anyway,
I don't think things are gonna get any better, right? But yeah, so they have this quick powwow and kind of like catch up on what's going on. And the main question that they ask there is like, Julius, this straight up asks Subaru. He's like, I love the thing they do here. And it's also kind of hilarious because like how incredibly weak Subaru is, right? And it's like, yo, Subaru, what are you gonna do? Like, what's next? He basically says. And like even Subaru was like, what do you mean, right? Like,
they are expecting way more from Subaru than they should. But I can see from their perspective of like they don't know how many times that they've died.
Yeah.
And they don't know how many times he's died. How much of a failure Subaru is.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, well, this dude just can pull it out, right? He just magically fixes it and stuff like that. But like basically, yeah, he asks him what to do, and basically the contention is like, Subaru, are you going to go save Amelia right away, or are you gonna actually help us with this problem? And Subaru was kind of like, I really want to go save Amelia, but I'm not gonna do that because I know we have to deal with this thing first. So basically, like, that makes everyone feel a lot better. Like, he's on our side and he's not just gonna run out and save Amelia. Which,
so we're gonna talk about this later, but you should save Amelia. It's getting real awkward.
It's getting real bad over there. I got to that scene, I was like, this seems really bad. And then I got to that question, I was like, this is really, really bad. But yeah, so they're basically, their plan is like, hey, we're gonna have to like retake the Capitol building. While this is all happening, the higher up guy, the guy that's like really popular and rich in the city, that has the crystal that Amelia and Subaru and all the group wants, comes in because he's a part of like this elite 10 that kind of basically runs the city, and he's like, bro, you know that the man they asked about having this the witch's remains or whatever. We literally can't do that because if we move that remains, the whole city literally like falls into the ocean. Like it literally drowns everything again. It is like literally the foundational pillar that holds up the city.
Yeah, and what I thought was interesting, I actually ended up having to go research it, is that, what is his name?
Ow.
Are you talking about the guy that also seems to be summoned from another world?
Yeah, Al. A-I or A-L.
Oh yeah, I call him Kyodai because that's what he always says. He always says like my brother.
Yeah.
I think it's either my brother or my family. I can't remember what that means. But he mentioned Typhon.
Yes.
Which I was like, I had to go research that because I was like the like a little flash of like from the movie Hercules popped in my head. It's like, I know that's significant.
Yes.
So I looked it up, and according to the internet, Typhon is like I think he's either a demigod or he's some kind of like semi-monster. He's a giant. And he was I think he's actually the son of one of the sons of Hera, but was defeated by Zeus and sealed into a mountain or a volcano. And that's like the Mount Etna, and that is what is there's a myth about Mount Etna that whenever it erupts, that is Typhon struggling to be released from his burial.
Yeah, and it works really well with this witch. And I think what Al says is like, yeah, it's the same thing that happened to Typhon, right? And that basically gives away that the witch here is the Witch of Pride, because we have met Typhon before.
What?
Yeah, we did. It's okay. You remember when Subaru was in that place of greed, where we're like tea party place with greed, and then you remember when she pretty much got shunted out of the way and the other witches come. So like you meet a couple witches, but the first witch I think he meets is this like little girl, and that was her. That was
her name was Typhon. I forgot, and then I actually wrote when they in my notes where I'll say the witches remain in the city, like who it was. Is like I was like, that looks an awful lot like the Witch of Pride.
Yeah, that's her. That's where she died.
I totally forgot.
Yeah,
I thought he was just making a reference to like Greek mythology, where it's like, okay, this guy is definitely from the other world.
No, at least that's my opinion. Where I think, and the corpse looks like you're saying familiar to the Witch of Pride, right? Typhon, from what I remember, that's Typhon. That's the Witch of Pride, and she died here from what I'm understanding. And so yeah, I know we met her. She seems scary. I don't know what she did in her life, but I imagine she murdered a lot of people.
I mean, she definitely goes and towards that like anime theory where the cuter you are, if you're a villain, like the more of a complete tool you are. I mean, we're seeing that right now with the Witch of the Archbishop of Lust right now.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Just absolute. Like, we haven't even seen her kill anybody. Like, wait till we start seeing her like actually murder people.
Yeah. Like what she put on the intercom, I was like, this is bad. This is really bad.
Yes. So, but that makes sense. It is kind of poetic. Like, you know, she is the Witch of Pride.
Yeah.
But she is like in the lowest portion of the seems to be in the lowest portion of the city.
Yes.
But also we don't know exactly how. Well, I guess now we know how she died. But also, I could have sworn, I remember I was watching the first series, and it was said that the Witch of Envy killed all the witches.
Oh, did it?
Oh shoot! Oh shoot!
Say that?
Oh. Yes, I do remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch, but I think it's in either an episode 1 through 3, because I'm not very far. Don't hard into watching it. But I am okay. I think I may have another theory.
Gotcha.
Okay, follow me.
Okay,
follow me. What if the Witch of Envy has some sort of relation with the creator of the trap, which we said is somebody that seems to be an ancestor, or seems to have been somebody that came from another world, because he is a part of the, like, I forget what the name of the people that they call, but they're pretty much like have the Japanese culture.
Yeah.
But what if that guy is somehow connected to Subaru? If he like maybe just looks like Subaru, or if he's from like Subaru's lineage.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good theory. That's a good theory. Because I know you're rewatching the earlier episodes. Yeah, if you said that, I can believe that.
I will hereby dub this the ancient Subaru theory.
Oh man. But yeah, that's a good theory. So But like, okay, the only thing I would put as pushback for that is like, why is the Witch of Envy? Why was the Witch of Envy in the garden with the other witches? Well, they kind of seemed like they hated her too. So
Well, it's all
they let her out. They only let her out at the very end.
she's supposed to be alive. In the first season, they said that she is still alive.
Yeah, because
So she just did some magic stuff to show up.
she's like, yo, let me in this bit. Yeah, you're actually right, because like that's her whole plea to Subaru, right? It's like she wants Subaru to kill her,
Yes.
which kind of like literally typhoons my theory from last episode, but that's fine.
What was your theory?
The dimensional thing or whatever that seems blown out the water right now.
What was your dimensional? Okay, remind me what your dimensional theory was.
The short version is Envy's like just a Amelia from another dimension that is like or yearning for Subaru, basically was like the idea, but I don't think that works anymore.
It might be like a Zelda Link kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, I can see that.
But it's also possible it could be from another dimension kind of thing.
So
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But yeah, so nobody knows. I'm gonna keep moving on. We have this thing. So they have their plan. They basically start walking into the same place that Garfield was going. They go with Beast Person, Will, Al, Crush, and Garfield. I think it was 5. That's right. And Julius.
And we still don't know if what's his name is dead or alive. Otto.
Yeah, we don't know if Otto's dead or alive. Place your bets. I'm leaning on dead. Subaru's gonna have to die before anything changes. So they're all like walking to this thing. The quick stuff that says Al says like, "Hey, bro, I'm going to go find my princess." And Subaru was like, "What the fuck, man? Like, you get to do this shit." He's like, "Nah, bro, I gotta do it. I'm sorry. I know it's awkward." But everyone's like, "Hey, man, I was cool." And I was like, "Yeah, I was kind of cool. So we should just let him do whatever he wants."
That is exactly what was going on. Like, it was like, "Hey, did you see that? Like that guy, that we thought was super strong, and the other girl who we thought was super strong. Do you see how fucked up they got? And you're just gonna leave?" Which again, we don't know how strong Al is.
Yeah,
Al could just be as completely as useless as Subaru. And it's just being a coward right now.
Yeah. Subaru kind of says the same thing where he's like, kind of like, I was banking on you kind of being useless too a little bit, so I want to have to be the most useless person, right? But yeah, Al says his thing, but Al does give a good piece of advice. And he's like, "Yo, bro, probably all the witches are here, so Gluttony's here." And Subaru gets really fucking pissed. And he's like, "But I know you got some histories with them, but first thing I'm gonna say, don't ever tell them your name." And he's like, "All right, okay, I'm gone."
Was Al there when Ram and Krush lost their memory?
I don't think so. Al was not there, so I don't know how. What this implies to me is that Al has fought the glutton, like Witch of Gluttony, and somehow fucking survived. So this is why I'm leaning on to this dude's like marginally strong, and he's just pretending.
Yeah, and we don't know how long Al's been in Lagunica, right? Yeah. Like he could have been here way longer. I mean, he's got the abs.
Yeah,
so maybe he's been here for a while.
He definitely has the abs of a hero. He definitely has the abs of someone that has main character energy. But yeah, so he gives him that tip. The wolf dude is I should probably know this dude's name. I'm gonna continue to call him the wolf dude. The wolf dude is kind of like, "Subaru, no, you are important. You helped us beat the whale, and you did a really good job." And Subaru was like, "I don't know what you're gonna talk about. You know what I'm trying to say." And the last thing that happens basically is Will is like, "Yo, we brought Crush, a candidate and a princess, basically, to this fight. Like, is that kind of bad?" And like Will was like, "Oh yeah, Crush is like super strong. I guarantee it. Yeah, she got a dog in her. She can fight."
She got that dog. Listen, they debuffed the furries and they like completely OP'd the princesses out now, because now you got Amelia is got hands now. What's her name? Redhead girl is fucking people up, and now we're about to see Krush. Yeah, I'm sure she's about to throw hands.
Right, so make it back to that same corner that we were where all the dead bodies are. Instead of dead bodies, there's eggs, like very alien-esque eggs, which doesn't seem good, but everyone just ignores for some fucking reason. And you're like, okay, there's gonna be something new here. No, still those two guys. They all 5 of these people fight these 2 guys. they don't lose. They don't win, but they don't lose. So that tells you how strong they are, right? It was 5-on-2, and they were still not dying.
They had Power Ranger odds, and they were still fighting back.
Yes. And then you're like, this is not going great. And you're like halfway through that, you're like, oh, the Witch of Lust is a fucking dragon right now. I mean, the
Dude,
Archbishop of Lust.
What was that? Okay, so that leads me to I have a few more theories about that. Is, well, one, why is she a dragon? First off, second, as we know that there is almost like a religion story, not even a story because it's actually canon. Like, dragons have something to do with like the creation of the actual state of Lagunica.
Yes.
And like protecting Lagunica from like disasters and things like that, from dire situations.
Yes.
And which means I wrote down there might be some kind of connection between the dragon and the Lagunica family line. They might be dragonborn, or
oh, so what's up? I'm gonna put in the Skyrim maid here. I just need to find time. I'm gonna do it. The school.
Yeah. Yes. That's also what I was thinking when I wrote that down. Which leads me to either have a theory that, one, maybe the royal family aren't dead. Maybe they're dragons. Okay, so yeah, are they related to or Lagunica's related to the main dragon? So is that why she's not dead? Did she not die? Did she just become a dragon? And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a valid thing. Yeah, like I don't know why she's a dragon. I'm guessing it leans into her power as the Archbishop of Sin. But like,
I kind of wrote down. I wonder if this is like a this would be very strange to be a biblical reference, but like we've already seen that the author utilizes a lot of like Western canon for his story, and I was wondering if that had to do with like the biblical reference to Babylon in Revelations as a dragon, because Babylon is like there's points in the book where she is referred to as like a prostitute and like things that are along the lines of like what we would consider as lust. But I think for her, I think her thing is more about bloodlust.
Yes.
Than lust.
I think I'm gonna agree with you. I think the spin on her is like it's not about like just lust. It's about like bloodlust, right? This thirst for like just killing and maiming things that this Saint Bishop has, which is like I don't know. Like we met the Witch of Lust too, in the thing, and she seemed pretty
wholesome.
She tried to calm Subaru down, and she didn't mean to hurt Subaru, but her presence literally hurts people. But yeah, I'm interested on how they spin that, or how they think. Yeah, I think that girl has a backstory. That the Archbishop has a backstory that is like, I want to say similar to Petagoose, where it's like this dude is way more entrenched in this sin, and like the stuff he's doing is way more connected to him personally than we originally think right now, right? So that's why I'm gonna lean with you with like the like that's the same person, or like the same person that Will mentioned. I'm gonna say that's true for right now, because like
what do you mean the same person that Will mentioned?
When he was like saying, like 50 years ago or whatever, right? That lived longer or whatever. I think that's gonna be the same person. Yeah, because like I think of like Petagoose, where it's like, oh yeah, he was very attached to Amelia's thing. We don't know why, before he became this raving maniac, and I guess like, and then he got this power in his hands. I guess you can see it like the hands are kind of like servants, which is very slothful. I guess I don't know. I feel like the powers tend to relate a lot, or not relate in a weird way. And I'm wondering what weird way they relate. But I don't know. I feel like, the hands being servants for slothfulness can be quite a stretch as well.
And we've already seen that that it was already described by Wilhelm that she did seem to be very like, to go with the theme of like bloodlust, that she was pretty cruel in her like her real life.
Oh yeah.
If she is that person, like in her living human life, she was a very cruel, sadistic human being.
You gotta be pretty messed up when people describe you as he's kind of as beautiful, smart, and as cold as everyone else. Like it's like as ruthless as they come.
Yeah.
That is your third trait as being terrifyingly ruthless, right?
I did have another thing I wrote down is I mean we'll get to this towards the end, but there's a point where she leaves. I have some other things I want to circle back to, but when she leaves the scene, we don't see her fly, which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah.
She like actually walks away.
Yeah, like with the theme of big bags just walking away, which just feels way more disrespectful to me. It just feels terribly disrespectful for me. But yeah, basically what happens, Suru does distraction stuff. They hit him with a big attack. It literally blows off this dragon's face. It regenerates immediately, and then they were like, "Oh, time to go, time to leave." It's not because not because I'm hurt, just because I have a timer.
They just ripped off Full Metal Alchemist. What they should have done is they should just kept doing the same attack until she dissolved into ashes.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right.
So what I also wrote down is like you mentioned a distraction. Subaru went full sloth for a moment. Like he had a whole Archbishop rant to distract her.
Yes. And I like how it's like, it was smart and it worked out really well. I like how he was like, it's like, no, Garfield, I'm going to use a better Shamak distraction to help us not die. I'm going to use my mouth. I'm just going to talk a whole bunch of shit.
Again, we should add that. We should add to Subaru's list of useless things that he's utilized so far. The whip also makes an appearance.
Yes, man, I'm gonna continue saying it. Indiana Subaru is still pretty fun, even though it's kind of useless. It's still fun.
He loses that whip as much as Sokka loses his boomerang.
Well, okay, the second time when they were going on the building, so I'll move on to the next part, right? Basically, Witch of Lust basically says timer's up, they leave. Subaru, Julius, and Crush goes to the top floor, and we're gonna talk about that real quick. Julius, what the fuck, man? Like his legs messed up. Why do you? You could definitely done something here, but you know, I get it. Like Subaru gets to make Crush like him even more. So he gets to Indiana Jones that shit, which I fucking love. He gets Indiana Jones and makes it to the top floor. Then we get to the final scene of this episode. You know, you're like, man, this show has been going at a very fast pace. They won't introduce another antagonist that will absolutely destroy everyone in this vicinity, right?
You forgot nobody. They didn't do an intro. They got time today.
Yes, they did. They didn't do an intro. So immediately, as soon as they get to the first floor, they're like, "Oh, hi. I'm the Saint Bishop. I'm just literally just walking out the building, just chilling. It's like, I'm a Saint Bishop of Gluttony. Hi, Subaru. I know." And like Subaru immediately pissed, like having flashbacks of Rem, and it seems like they're about to fight the Archbishop of Gluttony right now, on this top floor.
I really hope Subaru doesn't fight him because it's going to be a very, very quick fight.
Yeah. Well, he's there with Julius and Crush, and at least we can say Julius is maybe a mid-level strength. We know Crush is a little mid-level strength. Crush has fought Gluttony before, I believe. She lost. She has. Yes. She lost really bad, but she did fight him.
I did want to point out, I did not realize how strong Julius was. This man has like some serious like mage knight abilities, and he could fly. And then that just reminds me of that episode, the highlight of the cringe arc with Julius. when Super was dumb enough to try to run the fade on Julius, and now I'm like, oh, Julius could have like really embarrassed him.
I think he did. He beat his ass with a stick in front of a whole bunch of people.
Like he was holding back so hard.
Yeah. So yeah, Julius special beams cannons the dragon. He's like, I need time to charge it up. You need to distract him, Subaru. Yeah. But yeah, so he's up there with Julius, and then Crush is still looking good. She's in top form. She's doing her wind sword stuff. But yeah, it seems like they're gonna run the fade. Julius, Subaru, and Crush are about to run the fade with the Archbishop of Gluttony. and I think they're gonna lose, and I feel like Otto's dead.
Yeah, I think Otto's somewhere there.
One other thing, again, I like how they do these characters because like where it's like this dude who's like whole thing is like, yo, I just steal people's memories and make people like forget their loved ones and shit like that. And he's like, man, I don't remember a lot of shit, bro. Like, do I know you before? Right? He's like very like, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or not, but it's very like you're such a dick, man. He's like playing up this thing about like memories and stuff like that, and we know that he steals people's memories, and that's why like a lot of people are mad at him.
Do you think that somehow plays into like his sin at all? 'Cause that seems like a very specific. I wonder if that's like it might be a cultural, like maybe gluttony has like an extra cultural, like the Japanese word for gluttony might have an extra cultural like meaning that we just don't get.
Fair. I think that's can be completely true. I think I think I always lean into gluttony because I feel like it's like he takes everything that matters, right? Like he devours everything that matters, right? Like, you know, like he literally leaves you with husk of the people that you love, right? And that's the thing he enjoys consuming. So that's why I've always like it kind of works where it's like he consumes you completely, right? He makes you literally not exist when he does his stuff to you. So I think that's what it leads into, but it can also be it can be both, I think.
I'm gonna do a little bit more research on it just to be because I'm actually really curious about it.
Gotcha.
But the word for gluttony is bolshoku.
Bolshoku.
Oh, it's got the kanji for eating. That's interesting.
Thing, but like, wouldn't that make sense because gluttony is normally consuming something?
It's the that is I really like the actual kanji selection for it because both of the kanjis it's the kanji for violence and force and then eating or food,
like together,
like violent food, violent eating.
Gotcha. Which that does describe gluttony in my opinion,
or but violent appetite.
Shoot over those kanjis to me as well. You can put it in our like our language chat because I'm interested to see this real quick too. Help me learn. That is the end of the episode.
Real quick, sorry, I would have circled back down to gluttony for like a second.
Gotcha.
Two things I wrote. We can edit one of these out. Well, I think the first part that like I don't think we can leave out is that I noticed that he uses the pronoun we when he's talking. I don't know if he's done that before, but that kind of stuck out. I don't know if that was like based on the context of something he was saying, but I noticed that was something he used. I'm wondering if that's going to be something that's relevant. The second is that like there aren't a whole lot of like brown characters, and I wonder if that's significant that he's brown, because the only one we've seen so far is Felt's like father figure, who dies in the like first or second episode. That is even in Japan the trope continues. Oh man, sorry.
Oh man, I can never let brother win. He dies in the first episode, but he's living now. He's currently living, right? Because
he survived. Yeah,
he survived. Right. He survives. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing. I think ReZero does have this thing of like, there's different places other than here. We have to go to those different places, which is I think is fun. And we'll see. I guess time will tell with that stuff. I don't know where any of that would go.
Yeah, the interesting thing that they add in the beginning is that Lagunica is the continent or country that's the most east you can go in the world.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me look at something because I was looking. Is Typhus? What is Typhus? Nah, she looks like regular anime look.
Typhon?
Yeah, like barely. Still looks a very like generic anime kind of thing, but like with a tan.
But you're trying to say she light skinned?
I'm not trying to say anything. I don't even know if Gluttony's black. They're gonna be like, oh no, he's not black. He's just Mr. Popo.
Well, he also like when he came in, he has some like very like I don't know. I don't want to put like a thing on it. It's definitely not like a Japanese. It's definitely not a Japanese or a European. It's more like a continental Asia like kind of clothing.
Yeah, yes. In short, I'm not giving him a card yet. He has to go earn that. We gotta learn more about Gluttony before he gets anything.
Okay. That was it. That's all I think I had.
Oh, one other thing is, Will seems to be mad at these people that have extra arms, and the two slime characters that are supposed to be base level mobs that are messing him up. He's like, I'm into this fight.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, Roscoe. Yeah, we got this like extra thing at the end of the episode, and it has to be happy, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We get this scene, and it's Amelia. She's not dead. That's good, but she's in a bed. She wakes up and it's she's completely naked, and I was like, that's bad. And then the Witch of Greed, the Saint Witch of Greed comes in. He's like, hey, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're all waking up. Amelia's just kind of like covered up in the bed, trying to like be like, yo, who's this dude? What's going on or whatever. He asks a question, and I really like how they did this because they show Amelia in the bed. They turn to this dude and they like start on his feet and they like go up. They go up to his face or whatever. And this dude's like asking this question while this is happening. And once you get to your face, it's clear that this question is one of those questions that if you answer wrong, you're gonna get murdered kind of stuff, right? And the question is very simple, but very telling at the same time. He asks Amelia, "Are you a virgin?"
Dun dun dun. This man, when I remember last episode where I was like, man, this man is a real 7'9" god. I was not wrong. I wrote down like as soon as like the situation, like the scene popped up with Amelia, how she was at, I was like, and then Pride pops out. I was like, what the Tate?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Amelia's in a bad spot. Archbishop Greed's not a good dude.
No, he seems more lust-like than actual lust.
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing is like he's like, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be kind of like his thing where it's like he's only willing to get this thing, to get what he wants once they're like married and stuff like that. I think it's like it's all about like his perfect image and thing about all this stuff or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not about just the deed. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I feel like this. I think this is the reason why like I don't think anything bad is gonna happen to Amelia in like the next episode or two, because he's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna get married, but I gotta do some other stuff. But we're gonna get married, and as soon as we get married, I'm gonna do this thing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because one thing this dude is, he's definitely upfront.
Listen, I am a high value man, and I cannot be with just any woman. They have to be pure.
Yeah, so we get that incredibly intimidating scene, and this is why it's like, yeah, probably Subaru, you might want to go get to Amelia as soon as possible, or Amelia, better yet, Eve, get out of there. We know you're stronger than Subaru, so you shouldn't wait for him to save you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely Amelia's not in a good place, and she needs to get out of there. And I think this leans into like, at least for the stuff with the opening credits that weren't here this time, but was here last episode, where it's like there's a big poster going on that thing. I even think I used it in the first episode of our podcast of Amelia in a wedding dress and Subaru like trying to like reach her or whatever. So that's why I think like the wedding thing and all that other stuff like leans into this idea of this dude that like he will only accept this thing in like a certain way or package. Is there anything else you want to say about the episode?
Let me go see if I have anything that my notes that wasn't said. Oh, something that I did notice. Well, first we can talk about this, and then I did have a question about the eggs. It was mentioned by the Archbishop of Lust. It was pointed out. This is something I noticed on my rewatch of the first season, because it's mentioned a lot in the first season. It's occasionally mentioned around the rest of them. Is that the smell is coming up again in conversation. She's like, "Hey, you smell really different from these other people. Like, why are you with these? Like, you don't seem like the kind of person based off the way that you smell that you'd be running around with these dudes interfering in my plans."
Yeah, you seem like, number one, you should be on our side, and you seem a lot weaker. That thing.
You're just like us. You're just like us.
No, Subaru, get out of there. Don't you want to be not like them? I think the series does a lot of like small things well that makes like the bigger overarching things easier to explain, right? So like we already know that every time Subaru dies, the witch sense gets worse, right? It gets worse. It's something that like characters will feel and like visually audibly tell them that, yo, I don't know what you I don't know what you want, but that's some like some demon time shit. Like we don't want that shit. Like I don't know what you on, and you might be saying the right stuff, but you're just your smell is just gives it off that you're probably dead evil, right? And I think this is like it's like a small thing that makes it easy for the like the excuse of being like, why does he just do everything the same and just do it better, right? It's like he doesn't do that because like a lot of the opportunities to do that are gone when he dies. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he has this like this stench or whatever. So I think it's like leaning into that where it's like she notices this thing, and I think if Subaru dies, him just doing like I'm gonna do a repeat, it's not gonna go as smoothly as he would want it to go because they notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, it's weird that she brought it up, but I think it's just like the witch's scent, which is huge thing. It was a huge thing in season one, huge thing in season one. But Subaru was dying left and right in season one.
Yes. I have another big theory, but before we get to that, dang, we kind of just skipped the speculation. We kind of went in. I kind of went into the speculation palace and searched for a few silverware sets and brought them back out, and then went back in a couple times.
Yeah, they bought they were like, since the speculation palace was about to close, so they just gave us some carry out. They have pizza this time, and we're just back in observation alley, just eating pizza.
Let's officially walk back in there for a second.
All right, okay, we're back in there.
Okay. They're about to close real quick, so let's try to make this quick.
Okay.
What are these eggs?
I think they're gonna spawn out something that's not fun. I don't know what they are. Yeah, I just imagine it's like Alien, where it's gonna be like something's gonna pop out of those eggs, and no one's gonna like what pops out of them, except the bad guys.
Do you think it's gonna be like baby dragons, or you think it's gonna be like some kind of humanoid thing?
So the way the Witches of Lust like talks about people as like, hey, meat scraps and stuff like that, I'm guessing that form was her form. Like, let's say that dragon was the Witch of Lust. I feel because it like I don't know. It feels like that whole thing implies like the dead bodies were like consumed or like were consumed to make the eggs or whatever, or like used to make the eggs. So like I feel like it has to be some type of weird stuff with her. I would imagine it will bring out something that is like, I don't want to say dragons, but maybe something akin to like the dark things that we saw in like season one, where it's just like weirdly strong and mutated like hounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I also had the same kind of theory. Like, if it has anything to do with like the amount of people that are currently dead, right now, if there is some kind of connection. I think it's either like it's gonna be some kind of monster, some kind of humanoid thing. I'm also wondering if that's maybe like, I wouldn't want this to be the case, but like, what if that's how the archbishop, not the archbishop, the cultists are formed? I think that would be kind of boring. I hope they don't do that. I hope it's like actually like people that are just very, very like fanatical about their beliefs.
Yeah, maybe it'll at least explain at least these two cultists, at least some like, cause what the fuck is with these deals? They're literally counting spelling, like literally slapping away all the key blasts and growing extra arms. Like they had this dude dead to rights, and he was like, I guess I have to use more arms.
Yeah. So is this guy? Is he? My question is: this cultist, is he human? Is he a beast person, or is he like of another like race of people that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, like we need we don't know what his deal is, and yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that they're masked, right? Like normally it's like, okay, you know this character is gonna give you a problem because you can see their face, and they have said some dialogue. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, they have they talked?
No, they haven't. But I was just saying, like, for most, not even animes, but just shows in general, it's like, oh, if you seen this bad guy's face, they're not gonna die.
Because I have a theory about the second underling, and it is spicy if it definitely turns out to be the case.
All right, what's the theory?
So you remember what, like, when Garfield was fighting fighting them, and he has a flashback, like he has
Yes.
this PTSD thing.
Yeah,
And did you notice that both of those figures like either use a knife or some kind of sword?
they do. Yes.
You see where I'm going with this?
Are you trying to say that Gatlir is one of these cultists?
Yes. Particularly, I think it makes sense because, like, number one, what do we know about the Witch of Lust right now? She is a bloodthirsty maniac. Who does that fit more as a descriptor than Ursula?
Oh my gosh. Again, every time I say I hate a character, I don't really hate the character, but it's just like if I was in the world, I would hate that character. And most people in that world do hate that character. And yeah, Ursula coming back in this situation makes the situation like 10 times worse. But that does really work because it like yeah, if we're going on the theme of like, hey, the Archbishop of Lust is like not just traditional lust. It way leans into like blood lust. Ursula is the person that I would think about that person in the series about that right now. Because like her whole thing is literally she likes seeing people's stomach entrails and takes great pride and joy of slowly showing people that.
Yes. Which leads me to believe that maybe there's somewhat of a connection there. And I can't we have seen too many like Chekhov gun repetition of Ursula reappearing in the story for her not to be alive in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know if it's maybe she's dead and this is either her sister, or if she's dead, or if she's not dead and this is her, or if there's whatever. Like, I think that this woman has some connection to Ursula, whether it's her someone she's related to in some way, or if it's just like her actual, like, that's just her.
Fair. I think my only counterpoint would be like this person seems to have the that curse of death, that the death curse that doesn't let wounds heal, and I don't think Ursula had that ability.
Was it the woman that stabbed Mimi?
Yeah, she when Garfield grabs her, she's like she's the one that hops in and slices Mimi, because she's like the speedy one out of the two.
Was there ever a point when Garfield got stabbed by Ursula?
Last season probably.
But to your point, maybe yeah, maybe she's not Ursula, but I think there's definitely there's gonna be some kind of tangent. There's some kind of connector there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got you. I think it's fine.
Maybe she's got an equally hot and crazy sister.
we know something about ReZero, and it's not afraid of the fan service.
No, it is not. Sorry, I keep calling her Ursula. I don't think that's her name. I thought her name was Ursula.
It is some type of like it is some type of myth name, because like I know a lot of the characters like Typhus, Echidna, like it's always like these myth linking names.
Elsa.
Elsa, yeah, okay. Can we build a snowman out of your fucking guts?
Oh, this is something interesting to notice. If you notice Elsa's costume, she does have like a red, like she has a black cape with red inlining.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like a purple, like little, like floofy kind of thing at the top. She is wearing like the colors of the witch's cult.
Oh, you're saying Elsa herself?
Yes, she does seem to have somewhat, like, just based off the first season, she has some connection, seemingly, to the witch's cult.
Okay, I'm gonna go even crazier to your thing. I think the Archbishop of Lust is probably the main contributor or funder or something of the Salson Guild thing or whatever.
The
So
what
this is
guild?
the like the
The Assassin's
assassins,
Guild?
yeah, the assassin guild thing or whatever. She has like a big pull in that because this is a theory, just like because this will make a little bit sense of why like the animal kind of beast or whatever that like that little kid have, and then you know Elsa being like this way too, right? Like I think those two characters matches up with what we know of the Witch of Lust right now, where it's like animals. Well, I guess the dragon's not an animal. Beast things, I guess, and being fucking crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
also something to point out. Sloth, the Archbishop of Sloth, also has a black cape with red inlining.
yep. Well, he even had that back cape when he was normal.
You said what?
He had that back cape when he was normal. When we had that flashback.
True. Maybe there is like something either. Well, we know that the witches cult has existed for 400 years.
Yeah.
So maybe at some point it was less Church of Scientology ish. Maybe it was like not like a radical thing. I mean, because remember, like the Witch of Envy, at least when we met her, is at least somewhat kind of chill.
Yeah. Yes.
And if we're like, if my theory turns out to be somewhat correct, like at some point in time, if the hero guy that may or may not be connected to Subaru somehow, that's summoned from another world, if he is somewhat the good guy in sealing this witch there, maybe Amelia at some point in time was also kind of like a good person, because we gotta think about it. Like she did, like everyone hates her now, but she did kill all of the other witches, and those witches were not good. Those witches were not good at all.
If they were good, they were good in their own way, in a very slight way, because everyone else was gonna get fucked over.
Yes.
Okay, I see that. I see that. Yeah, I think that works out. Man, it's yeah, that's an interesting point. But yeah, what do you have for a prediction for next episode?
Those were my predictions. Okay, I guess for next episode.
Yeah.
I think again, like you said, Crush and Julius are gonna fight Gluttony. Gluttony is going to win. I think we're gonna learn a little bit more about his powers and like what his name really means. We're gonna learn a little bit more about him. I don't think we're gonna see Lust as much in the story, and not in the story in this episode, but we're gonna see what those eggs are for. Um, I think that we may or may not find out what happens to our boy.
Roy's our boy. I mean, sorry.
Where's Otto?
Yeah. Okay. Where's Otto and Roy's our boy?
I think that Subaru is either gonna die this episode or next episode. I'm just unsure of where the next spawn point is gonna be. I really hope it's not all the way back past the back to where the last save point was, because I think that would have us go through a lot of unnecessary stuff. I'm guessing it's probably going to be when he wakes up from having his leg no scoped.
360 no scope.
Yes, I think we're going to find a little bit more about what's going on. We're going to learn a little bit more of the relationship between Julius and Reinhard. I think that's probably it.
Gotcha. I'll go into my prediction. I think Subaru is gonna either die at the very, very end of the next episode or sometime in the episode after that. I think most of the next episode is gonna be mainly being like millions with a creep for a little bit. We're gonna get this situation that he fights they do this fight, and I think all the fights are gonna play out and everyone's gonna die except Subaru. And it's gonna be like everyone's kind of like pushing Subaru to be like, hey, you should go do this, you should do that, right? It'd be like him escaping and they're like, oh, I won't die, and then they immediately die, right? I think the spawn point being back at the beginning where we like by the benches with the princess, I think that one makes sense. Honestly, I think it should go back to that spawn point because it gives them a chance to bring Beto into the story. Because if everything goes as it is, Beto is kind of out, but we get Emilia Chan back. So I don't know. I'm back and forth because like,
You're talking about Beto.
Betty, sorry.
Oh, Betty. Yeah.
Sorry, my part. But yeah, we get Betty back in the story, but then Amelia's not captured, right? So I don't know which way they would go with that because like they've made it a narrative hook with her being like trapped by this dude, but if he does get to revive before that happens, it's probably not gonna happen. But Subaru won't be able to stop Emilia even if he tried, honestly. But yeah, so that's what I predict about next episode. Yeah, I'm very interested on who these two peoples are. I feel like we're gonna get more information about these two masked people. Maybe even get one of them unmasked, and Will's gonna be like, you stabbed me in my back like 50 years ago, and he's like, yeah, you got old.
That's a good point.
And sorry, we're gonna go back to Reinhardt's gonna enter the chat at the very last moment when it's too late, before right as Subaru dies, basically, and maybe that situation gets resolved. I think like Reinhardt is not gonna stand for his candidate being threatening or being held hostage. He's gonna be like, I'm Reinhardt, I'm the nuke. I punched the people, knocked the sword out of his dad's hand, and be like, "Yo, felt you're with me all the time, because I'm the strongest person here, so there's no reason for you to be in any danger." And low key, I think Al, I don't want to say I feel like Al is lying, but I think Al has to be strong because of the person that he is. His candidate is. I don't think his candidate would accept someone like Subaru, if that makes sense.
True.
Only like some specific reason or whatever. So that's why it gives me credence where I think Al is like a strong enough person, not just be like, hey, he like literally just say like, hey, you shouldn't be like killing this person in this moment, right? Like he has like enough confidence to stop someone from murdering. Which takes some balls. If it takes some balls to do that when you know that person can immediately murder you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's all I got.
That's all I got. But yeah, if you made it through this, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and let us know your thoughts. If you're watching the season with us, and yeah, we will continue to see what happens in ReZero. I feel like there's gonna be a roller coaster of emotions as usual.
Yep. If you're listening, again, thank you for beating the algorithm.
Yep.
And until next time.